There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start on Blue Sky. So Blue Sky is active. I'm going to go ahead and put Substack up, and I'm going to go ahead and put Owncast up.
Owncast.
I said, go away from my food. My cat is being very insistent today. I don't know why. Don't know why. Okay, looks like we're live on Substack. Oh, we have people too, yay.
Hi, people on Substack.
Yeah, we have people on Substack. That's awesome. So I'm coming through clear. Everybody can hear me?
Your audio is real bad.
Audio is bad. No.
Is mine or yours?
I think it's yours, Wendy.
Okay. Oops. Wow, you're looking at my Wendy's chili. Is that better? Here, let me. Is that better?
Kind of like muffledy.
Yeah, it is kind of.
You sound underwater. You don't look underwater, but you sound underwater.
I can't hear you at all now.
Well, how is everyone?
Doing well.
Great.
While Wendy's trying to figure out her audio, I'm going to show off my earrings. They are pressed flowers. My kids got them for me for Mother's Day.
I'm sorry, Miranda. I can barely hear you. Did you say they were pressed flowers? Oh, cute. And you got them from your kid?
Yeah, from the kids for Mother's Day.
Oh, cute. Yay.
Aww.
I'm recovering from losing my voice from yelling at the damn TV screen. Yeah, so.
I'm recovering from I had a tooth extraction last week and then a dry socket.
Oof.
And that was no fun. So I had that fixed earlier this week. So I'm still healing from that, I guess.
We are hitting the road and going to Pride in Athens, Georgia, this weekend. So that should be fun. That's Georgia, University of Georgia, UGA Bulldog thing.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, so we've got, I think we're going to Pride in 3 different places this month.
Oh, okay.
3 different Prides, yeah.
All in Georgia?
All in Georgia, yeah.
Our the KC Pride Fest is this weekend. Well, it starts tonight actually, but I usually don't go on Friday nights. It's like from 5 to 9 tonight, and then tomorrow will be the parade and the Pride Fest directly open. The gates will open after the parade. And
right.
Sunday.
So I'm not big on the parades, and I may this time march in the trans parade because I keep on saying I'm going to, and then I end up never doing it. So I may do it this year if we do Atlanta. But other than that, I'm just not big on the parades. You know, I feel too claustrophobic. Like I'm just like
Yeah.
sucked in. No.
Well,
Yeah, we
Kansas
might
City
skip
isn't.
Denver Pride and hit up some of the prides in the mountain towns.
Have what?
We might skip Denver Pride and hit up some of the pride celebrations in the mountain towns.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're thinking about skipping Atlanta and just doing the prides in the surrounding areas.
Yeah, Denver's too people-y.
Denver's too big.
Too people-y.
Yeah, and that's how Atlanta's going to be. We just, the two that I know we're going to for sure are going to be less people, more family oriented. Just a more chill groove, and mood, and that's what I want. I don't want, I just don't want to party. I don't party, so I don't want to party.
Kansas City parade is usually not real crowded or anything, so it's not bad. I think last year is the first time I went to Kansas City's parade, but it was raining, so
All right.
Was it raining
So
then?
what?
Was it raining then?
Well, it was raining men and a lot of other things too, and water.
Hey, Corinne. Hey, Luca. Hey, Brandon. Who else is here? Hey, Maggie. Hey, Cynthia. Woohoo! Hey, Wendy. We know Wendy. I thought it was another Wendy.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
we can hear.
I
Hey.
can hear you now.
Hey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, great. So
Yeah.
Sounds
had to
good.
go headphones. Just sort of worked out that way. So anyway, let's just go right into it. Thank you everybody for who's watching. Wendy, Onyx, Brandon, and Miranda. Our usual 4x crew for the 1 o'clock live sessions. And let me just, today's title was The Burning Ledger and the Green That Keeps Coming Back. And so I want to provide a couple of positive notes for everybody that came out of today. And that was, there was a 4 a.m. votorama with the Senate, and 6 Republicans all broke with the GOP to stop their motivations. 6 senators, that's fucking huge.
Yeah.
What was the vote for?
The vote was for so here we go. So the Diaper Don posted election fraud fan fiction in all caps, while 6 of his own senators, Collins, Murkowski, Sullivan, Husted, Morad, and Tillis, peeled off to block his 90,000 square foot vanity ballroom and the anti-weaponization slush fund. And so that's dead in the water. Everyone fell short of the 60 votes they needed to pass it. And so, the human cost there is that $70 billion in funding immigration reform fell through. So that actually, we're about to go back to ICE basically fucking everybody up. Because Mullen has funding now. And not by a little bit. It was like this before, it's like that now.
Yeah.
Great.
So we are going to see a rise in ICE activity again because that's funded now, and that's so gosh, that like sucks. The other thing that I focused on today was the iteratively large number of times that the administration are in day 366 to day 500. So that window alone, the administration has continued to isolate trans people, erase gender affirming care, and numerous states are fomenting their own laws behind Trump's direction to get rid of us.
Yeah, yesterday Oklahoma announced a ban on gender affirming care that applies to all ages.
Was that for Medicaid or
It's for Medicaid, but you know how that works.
Right. It's just a little step, until it's everybody else.
Well, the Broligarch and their FCC floating warning labels for TV shows that have a trans character, giving cartoons a Y rating. The CDC clawed back $600 million in HIV and STD funding.
Yeah.
Prosecutors subpoenaed the NYU for the records of every patient under 18 who got gender affirming care. Stop eating my food. My fucking cat, I swear. Here's the fucking thing about my cat. My cat got the good, like, Gucci fucking cat food. Like the pate, soft and like I gave him 2 of those this morning. So what the fuck is, I don't know. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. And so then Texas Children's paid over $10 million to make, which is a group there, to make its own investigation vanish. Then the White House counterterror strategy hit, and it mentions trans ideology individuals as we're terrorists. So now we're terrorists, and any one of us who is under the age of 18 and gets gender affirming care is committing a crime. So it's all just a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It really is. And then the data center thing. Do we even want to talk about that? So every time you query AI, that generates electricity in a data center. There are data centers that are literally soaking and evaporating the water out of the ground and into the air. So here in Georgia, there's a lake called Lake Hartwell. Lake Hartwell is 3 feet more shallow than it's ever been in its life. You know why? There are 6 AI data centers that are around it, and they're using that water to cool the data center. So every time you throw up an AI query, you're contributing to that. And Lake Allatoona, same deal. Lake Allatoona is down by 2.5 feet. Lake Lanier is down by 1.5 feet. And those are big fucking lakes.
Yeah, and here in Colorado, we had record low snowpack in the mountains this year, and they're still wanting to build these things while all of us normal people are doing drought restriction stuff.
Well, here's the thing. With global warming having the effect that it is having, that means that the mountains in Colorado are not collecting snow.
Right.
because all of that shit moves downhill and feeds the rivers. And if that doesn't happen, then, we're fucked basically, right? I mean, we're just royally fucked. Not by a little bit. We're just not. And it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a big fucking ugly ass mess. And if we don't do something about it, then, there's not going to be an earth left for us to, for us to have. There's just not. So, yeah, there's all of that. And so I'll go right into today's topic. So I quoted Adrienne Rich. I use Rich because her essayist body of work is immeasurably valuable. And she says, the moment we choose to love, we begin to move towards freedom, to act in ways that liberate ourselves and others. And so when I read that, I say to myself, there are 6 senators who crossed the line this week because their districts moved. Conscience and survival sometimes point the same way. And Rich knew that, knew the first crack in the wall is rarely brave, and it's just the wall giving way. And so that begs us to ask, what do you call principle when it really was the moment you just could no longer afford the silence? So what was principle before that was just you being quiet? And so I've called it principle so many times that when it was just the moment that I couldn't handle the cost anymore. As a trans person, it was not being trans anymore. I stayed quiet at the DMV when they dead named me, in full circle of people around me, because I needed that ID, and I couldn't afford that scene. I called that survival. I tried to call that pragmatism. I've watched senators decide I'm finally worth protecting now that their polling has shifted, and that people want me to call that progress. It's not fucking progress. So it's not. They can say it is. It isn't. What I know is that I've spent a large number of years. One, I'm too fucking tired to care about the reasons anymore. I mean, honestly, I'm too fucking tired to care about the damn reasons. Because if I care about the reasons, then I have to start worrying about them. And so that goes all against what I could afford to lose. And I haven't talked to everybody, but, in the last couple of weeks, I've lost a lot. I've lost a shit ton. I've lost a hell of a lot more than I wanted to lose days before. And it hurts. And I've gone to the dark place a couple of times. But I won't talk about it. I'm not going to name it. I'm not going to go near it. Mainly because if I do, I'll start crying, and I don't want to fucking do that. But I really have had to examine my self-worth, whether I'm worth anything or not. And I would tell you that a handful of times I've come up on the negative. I'm still here, but it's been difficult. but I recognize the fact that I've spent years learning to calculate everything, calculate the room, calculate, faces, calculate, every other thing. You want to know what I call principle? That's mostly just getting through the fucking day. I went to collect my Wendy's, and you laugh about this, but I went to collect my Wendy's down in the lobby area of the apartment that I live in now. And basically, the long and short of it is the dude looked at me, handed me my food, and said, "Hey, nice tits. Enjoy your lunch, sir." Okay, what the fuck? You could just serve me. You could just misgender me. That'd be okay. You got to tell me I got nice boobs and then misgender me at the same time. That's like a double fuck you. It's a double fuck you and it hurts. So, Brandon, what do you call principle that is just you saying, I've had enough?
I'm not sure I know how to answer that. What do I call principle?
Yes.
That is just me saying I've had enough. I don't know. Go to somebody else. Come back to me. I need to think more.
Okay. Okay. Miranda.
I don't think I understand the question.
I'm gonna have to raise my hand with Miranda. Not really sure what's the like.
So here's the thing about principle. The way principle works is it's like what do I put up with versus when do I say I've had enough? That's the question. What at what point do you say, okay, I've had enough, I'm done with this? That's that's just how that works.
The first thing that immediately jumps to my mind, because I have bipolar disorder, is life or death. It's always a day-by-day shot of, and I shouldn't say it's a day-by-day shot, it's better now, but it's what do I really have that's worth giving to this to my person, to Egg, to my chosen family, to the world around me, that's really worth me being here, and that is something that almost every day I question, and a lot of times at night it's just a fight to make it to the next morning, and if I can make it to the next morning and see the sun, then maybe I have another chance and can reevaluate day by day, week by week.
Brandon, from your perspective, that's the when you can no longer afford to be silent, that's the authenticity versus bravery question. The principle might actually just be living my truth, or self-acceptance. But, that's the thing. I mean, we go back to that, but at what moment did you decide this isn't principle anymore? Fuck it. I'm just going to be who I am.
Well, yeah. I guess when I wasn't an adult. I was an adult before I really decided what my principles were. I guess maybe even changed them from what I had grown up with. There are a lot of things that I would have compromised on before where I won't now. Like I won't use Facebook. I don't want to have anything to do with Mark Zuckerberg. And that's I understand people. I don't knock anybody who does use it, because I know a lot of people that's the only way they communicate with certain people or whatnot. But I'm like, if I don't have their number already and talk to them over the phone or whatnot, then I don't need Facebook to talk to them. But
Can somebody, let me just touch on that. Can somebody explain to me why it is that Facebook is a requirement to communicate with people?
well, that's what I wonder too. I'm like, can't you just say, hey, can you give me your number? Because I'm getting rid of my Facebook.
I use Messenger every fucking day to talk to my bestie every day. Well, I mean, I guess I could talk to her on FaceTime, but I hate FaceTime.
Yeah, but I mean, there are alternate. You could get their number and send text messages too instead.
Oh,
of
we do, but we want to see the face.
Oh, I see. Okay. I don't know how the Facebook Messenger works.
I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, with a world where communication mediums are much more vast than they were 10 years ago, when all this bullshit started, why is it so crucially important to people to use social media as a methodology to communicate?
I think it's because of how we cluster. And so it's not just, oh, my one friend or one family member is in that space. It's like, oh, yeah, there's a whole group of people there.
Yeah, I know. Okay, there's a collection of people. Just start a fucking group text.
Okay, but see here, like I have like different collections of friend groups on Facebook, that I do on Substack, and then I do on Threads. It's just, it's like different communities, and those communities may not be on Substack. Not all of them want to migrate to Substack or to the Fediverse, or these people, like a lot of them are like, what the fuck is the Fediverse? It's not even worth me trying, because it's been a pain in the ass to try and get people to come on over. But yeah, I downloaded my data from Mark Zuckerberg, so I can pretty much leave whenever I want. Just waiting, I guess.
I think it's really difficult to cut something like that off, though, especially when you're used to it for so long.
I have 14 years of history. Like, so I have 14 years of memories, and that's like, I have like pictures of people that are no longer here, that pop up.
Yeah.
And, so it's I have those pictures. It's just, it's almost like a memorial type of thing that comes around every year. No.
And that's something that a friend of mine, she got locked out of her Facebook, and she couldn't get back into it, and had to had to try to prove who she was, upload her ID, and they still would not let her in. She still doesn't have access to her Facebook. Like she
Right.
tried to jump through all these hoops, and she still is locked out of it. So she's saying she's talking about this the same thing you are. She's got all these pictures and things on there that she has saved on there, and it's all gone. She can't access any of it anymore. So, I mean, you're fortunate that now that you've said you've downloaded everything. So at least, and if anything like that does happen, you've got that stuff. But
right. Well, they actually locked me out. They've locked me out of my account 3 times, and I have a secondary account that I use just in case I get locked out.
That's one problem. If we rely so much on one type of social media or one aspect, and we get used to trusting it, and then
that is true.
It gets pulled out from under you, and you've lost everything.
Yeah, that's why I have everything saved in 2 different places offline, and then saved online in clouds and so on and so forth, and got a lot of stuff spread around. I need to clean up my digital life, as it were.
So sorry, I kind of veered from this topic there, but
no, here's the thing: in the concept of evolving discussion, that makes these interactions much more interesting when they go into an entirely different area than just where I've scripted them. You know, that's the valuable communication that people want. You know, that's the communication that people need. I need that just as much as anybody. So you want to take a stab at the question now, Miranda?
Yeah, so what I was thinking about was, like, before I came out, there were all of these expectations placed on me of, you know, like the broad social expectations of what a man is, but also the expectations that family and friends had. Based on how they perceived me. And, you know, I got to a point where I was like, I'm outwardly meeting a lot of these expectations, but they're still not seen for who I am. And that was just an untenable situation. So, like, nope, I'm going to be authentically myself, and then their expectations can catch up or go away.
Sometimes it seems like no matter how many expectations you try to meet, they add more, or they change or whatever. But
yeah, it's like a list that's always evolving.
Yeah.
And you don't have access to edit their list.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, from my perspective, I think that would be the same for all of us. You know, I think that's real, which is why I followed that up with the Audre Lorde post. And so Lorde says, when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision.
Yes.
Then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid or not. So recently, I have learned that a lot of my loss has been tied to fear reaction. Fear affects us in a variety of ways. And fear drives us to, go into any manner of state. In my case, I experienced some emotional differentiations that were so strong and that were so difficult to deal with that I just couldn't turn to the people that I trusted to tell them I'm in a fucked up place and I want to harm myself and I don't want to be here. And it becomes a difficult fight between finality and perseverance. And so I want to be very clear about the difference between the two of them. Finality says, I don't want to be here anymore. Perseverance says, I'm tired of carrying this shit and I need to not carry it. And so, to that I say, you're afraid? Good. The fear means that you understand how big it is. Lord isn't telling you to stop being afraid. She's telling you that fear shrinks the moment you put your body behind what you believe. Not when danger passes, when you act. And so, that leads to the question, what would you do if you decided that your fear was a fact to work alongside, not some verdict that you predicate on yourself? And so for me, I've been working alongside fear since I was a kid. I'm not in that passenger seat. Sometimes it's all four tires and the engine, and that's it. You can check those behind you. You calculate to correct the doctor who gets your name wrong, or you get through an appointment and you get your prescription. You stop trying to go certain places after dark because it's just not safe. Not because you decided to be brave, but because you're still here and you're being here, and that means you're learning fear's schedule. At 53, I've outlived people I loved who were a hell of a lot braver than me. I mean, a hell of a lot braver. So this week, I'll do whatever it is I do every week. I'll be visible in a body that the news is currently trying to debate. I'll get on the train. I'll ride the train. I'll take their comments. I won't give a shit. That's enough. That's always been enough. It wasn't enough when I was a kid. But giving into that fear and acting by giving into that fear is the thing that causes loss. And I have felt that loss profoundly, exponentially profoundly in the last days. And it hurts. I'm not going to lie, it hurts. So Onyx, what would you do this week if you decided fear was just something you accept?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
What would you do this week if you just decided fear was just something that you had to deal with?
If I decided fear was something I had to deal with,
Yeah.
well, I deal with. I think I would have a more of an honest conversation with Egg about certain things.
Such as?
Well, those I don't want to discuss here right now.
Of course. Of course.
But suffice it to say that there is enough stuff that needs to be talked about. And, it's just fear that's holding me back.
I'm not trying to get you to open up about it necessarily, Hans. It was just a question. I wasn't trying to.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
Miranda?
I don't know. Like sometimes it feels like an infinite level of small decisions, and one of my friends has said we become brave after we do the thing that we're good at. And that's, kind of a difficult concept sometimes, but I think it can often apply. But I don't know. I don't have anything more specific to say.
I don't necessarily think you have to, Miranda. I'm just suggesting that there is an answer. Brandon?
I sometimes still allow fear to dictate my actions. And I don't know. I think probably every person does in some cases. But I definitely don't allow it to dictate as much as I used to. And if I what was if I allowed fear to
if you allow fear to verdict your actions versus just realize that it's there next to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would I would be a lot more. I would take a lot more risks, I guess, and but I don't know. I may, sometimes those risks wouldn't pay off.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Well, sometimes fear can be a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be.
It can stop you from doing something dangerous. So overall, I don't think it's such a great thing to just completely put fears aside.
Right. Fear can keep you honest.
It can definitely keep you honest. The thing that you don't want fear to control you.
Right.
Yeah, keeping you honest is one thing. But allowing fear to regulate your actions where you would isolate those that you love because you're afraid, that's the wrong thing to do. It's like assumption is the mother of all fuck ups. when you assume you are destined to screw up as a result, because assumption does not take in the factor of what may or may not be true. I literally have one phrase to that, and that's you should never guess. You should always ask. You should never scan. You should just receive. And through both of those, stay alive. Because if you guess and you don't ask, invariably you're going to guess wrong.
Right.
And if you assume because you're scanning what people are doing and saying, rather than just taking what they're telling you, you're going to fuck up. And that makes life a hell of a lot harder than it needs to be. It certainly encourages you to push those away that you love and care about. And you don't want to do that. You really don't.
Well, it's true that fear uses assumptions a lot.
Mhm.
Oh, it does.
Because you don't know, your fear usually is based on things you don't know.
It's
If
based on assumptions.
Right, you're making a decision. I mean, sometimes you can base it on past experiences and whatnot, but a lot of times when you go into something, you fear the unknown and what could happen and what you assume might happen. But there are times, you like I said, you can base it on past experiences. I've been this place before. I've been around these people before. I know how they are. I'm not going to put
Fear
myself...
is telling me I should leave.
Yeah.
Right. So fear
I
can
think
be
Yes.
a good motivator,
Yeah. I think it's okay to make, I guess it would not assumptions in that case. It would be more presumptions, presuming that things have not changed in that situation.
Right.
No. Yeah. Yes, that's very true. And that goes right into Baldwin's statement. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until you face it.
Wow.
The day today, it costs something. The low tax of paying attention while people are trying to itemize my existence, Onyx's existence, Brandon's existence. That was the ledger that ran today. And but we've had 134 days of it. And that's the country writing down who it means to forget and who it tries to remember. But a ledger is also just a record. Read aloud until the names stop being line items and become people again. Face it. Then turn intent to it. So tomorrow, what is the smallest true thing that you can do that you'll never be held accountable for by their ledger? And my answer to that question is the ledger didn't account for me making it to 53.
Hell yeah.
That's the smallest thing right there, that 53. And I'm 54 in 2 months, 2.5 months. And every day I'm a math problem that the system has solved wrong. Tomorrow I'll, name something or say my name out loud over the phone just so somebody else hears it and knows that it's real. That's not a movement. That's not a statement. That's just a name. And their ledger doesn't track that. It never did. And that's why I still do it. That's why I still do it. So, Brandon, what's the smallest thing you could do that their ledger doesn't give a shit about?
Smallest thing I can do that their ledger doesn't give a shit about. You've got some complicated questions today.
Yes, indeed.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to Pride Fest, to Kansas City Pride Fest. I don't know if their ledger cares about this. I don't know if they care that I'm there, that I'm attending, that I'm going to be a part of it, but that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully I'll go live and show other people what Casey Pride is. I don't know if that's necessarily small thing. I mean, it's not a huge deal to me, but it's not.
Brandon, that's appearance. Appearance is real. It really is. So hell yeah, that's small. It sort of sucks because you get to do Pride, and I have to recognize Pride because I can't do Pride until October.
Oh yeah.
You can go to all the other prides. There's so many prides going on.
Yeah, there's so many prides out there, but for Atlanta, fuck it.
Yeah, Atlanta's in October. But
because it's so fucking hot here.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hot here.
I am going to Pride tomorrow, UGA, and we plan on just handing out flags and, sprinkling fairy dust all over the place. And then
wait, where are you going tomorrow?
UGA Pride, Athens.
So Athens,
Georgia, yeah. And then we're going to Southern Fried Queer Pride. Southern Fried Queer Pride is the last week in June. And Smyrna Pride is the 13th. So those are the three that we're going to that we know of right now. Try and squeeze one in on the third week to try and do all weekends.
Wait, the city of Smyrna's Pride is on the 13th?
Yeah, they have a great Pride. There, we went last year, and it's awesome. It really is. It's family friendly. A lot of great information. It really is peaceful. Not so stressful. Not like it's not really claustrophobic, so it's good for me. I get kind of claustrophobic in big crowds, though. It's great. So, and also, one of my friend's daughters came out at a young age, at the age of 11, and this is going to be her first Pride out, and she's been so excited and waiting the whole year. So, this is going to be such a big deal.
Well, good.
No.
I think the youth should be able to adequately and appropriately express themselves. And if they don't, then it hurts. It hurts. It really does. So, Brandon, outside of your Pride activities, what do you have lined up for the week?
Well, today I will be talking with Onyx Rose at 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, I guess.
Central Daylight Time, yeah. I was told adamantly that it is not EST anymore. It is EDT. So
Yeah, just
Eastern
I don't
Date.
just Central Eastern.
Central.
Just get rid of the daylight stuff. So yeah, I'm. Other than that, nothing a whole lot. I published a cat article about a DIY cat scratcher today, and my audio
A DIY cat scratcher.
made of extra cardboard. Like if you've got boxes sitting around and stuff, use a flat and stack it in there. People pay way too much money for cat beds and cat scratchers. Unnecessary.
Get them a box.
Yeah.
Let them do their thing.
Look, I have 2 very cheaply made cat beds that hang on the windowsill so that Coltrane can look out the window.
Very nice.
And he loves them. I mean, he really does.
Yeah. Well, the thing about cats is a lot of times they'll just sleep anywhere. You know, they'll sleep on a table or places that don't look comfortable at all. And you'll buy them this expensive fluffy bed and they go lay on a table. You're like, what was the point of spending money on that? But yeah, it's unnecessary, really. I mean, I think it's more for the owners. It is fun to buy cats stuff, toys, and
it
things
is.
like that, but
when we get our next cat, we're getting a harness, and I'm walking the cat from birth, so the cat knows how to walk outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to,
So today, Onyx Rose asked if she could interview me about my writing and stuff. Because usually, anytime I have somebody on, I talk about them and what they're doing and stuff. And so she wanted to turn it around.
Turn the tables around.
So we're going to be talking about my writing process and writing journey, maybe. I don't know what all. I guess it'll be up to her.
Right.
Yes. But tomorrow I plan on going to the Kansas City Pride Parade and the festival afterward. And I might be meeting the guy that I've been talking to off and on. We're just gonna hang out there, I guess. I am not anticipating a date-like atmosphere. But we can maybe be friends and hang out or whatever. We'll see how that goes. But I was really hoping this year to go to a different area of the United States to do another Pride tour kind of thing, but I can't justify the cost of all that, so I'm not doing that.
So you're not going to do that?
No.
I mean, it is sad, Brandon, but at the same time, you have to be able to justify cost.
I know. I've got to be practical sometimes.
That does sound fun to go to a Pride in another state.
Yeah, I did last year. I went to Kansas and Nebraska and Missouri, so it was kind of all.
Oh, you went to all 3 states. Okay.
Yeah, I went to different ones for my Midwest Pride tour. Went to Omaha and Topeka, Kansas, Springfield, Missouri, St. Louis, Kansas City.
Oh wow! Okay, so it was a real tour.
Yeah. So I wanted to do one that was like maybe a Southwest or West Coast or East Coast or whatever, but that requires much more travel and accommodation.
Make a plan for next year.
Yeah,
to come to the Southeast. I'm telling you.
I would like to. I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
I was hoping I'd be further along on Substack with my paid subscribers and stuff, and it just hasn't gotten to where I want it to be. And
Right.
so,
Well, Brandon, I think everybody is experiencing that bubble. And I hate to say this, but with the AI boom, that bubble is getting worse. I recently had some conversation with a handful of writers that I know that write on Wattpad, WATT pad. And they had, like 30, 40, 50 Patreon subscribing, that were feeding the writing, and now they're down to like single digits. And so the ingestion of digital media against writing for the digital media is, hell, the last conversation I had with Jeff Tiedrick, Jeff was like, it sucks. I'm bleeding paid subscribers left and right.
Great.
I'm bleeding paid subs left and right. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily bleeding paid subs. My paid subs have stayed fairly even level, but everybody else out there, it's getting worse. I mean, unless you're Ben Mysalis or Scott Dworkin or whatever, then you're just not. It's going downhill. Like I said, same thing with AI. AI is a bubble. It's a huge bubble, and it's going to burst. It is going to break. The AI bubble is going to break. Do you want to think that it's not? It's going to break. Because there's going to get a point where the amount that has to go into it does not benefit the amount that is coming out of it. I had a work discussion yesterday about that, where, my company's mandate is you have to use AI. You have to use AI. You have to use AI to accelerate your job. Fine. If I use AI to accelerate my job, how does that put more money into your pocket so that you can validate the cost that you were putting forward into allowing AI generation to benefit the company? At what point do you just say, okay, that has accelerated whatever task, engineering, HR, whatever. AI has accelerated that. That's fine. Does that bring more customers in? If the answer is no, then you have to cap that. You have to say, whoa, hold on a second. We're spending way too much money to leverage AI models, and there's not enough benefit. And so that's where it is. And so it's like the .com bubble. Like when the .com bubble happened, everybody had to have a domain. And every domain had to be something special. I'll remind you that back in the .com bubble, there was Webvan, webvan.com. And webvan.com was home grocery delivery service. I know, because I had them deliver groceries to my house. Brilliant idea. This was before Instacart. This was before DoorDash. This was before Uber Eats, any of that shit. But the .com bubble and the rush to have a domain in the .com bubble caused that bubble to burst. And when it did, the economy tanked. We didn't recover from it. And the internet as a whole had to go through a re-evolution. And with AI, it's the same difference. We're putting forth massive amounts of resources, massive amounts of hardware, massive amounts of damage to the environment. And for what? So you can ask a computer to answer a question that you would just as easily get an answer for if you picked up a goddamn book and read it. That's where we are with AI generation. That's where we are at this point, you know? And then people like Brandon and I and Onyx and Sarah and Kira and anybody else that creatively generates content, that's who's going to matter. You know, because AI is shit. It sucks. It does. It sucks. It doesn't generate quality products. They want it to, but it doesn't.
And if we get these regulations passed where AI has to compensate creators for what it takes from them, then that's going to cause a huge downtick, I think, in the use of AI. They're not going to just be able to go and grab whatever they want from anywhere they take it.
Right. Sorry, Eileen, I'm watching you make comments. Anyway, here's what's going to happen. That bubble is going to burst. And what AI satisfied from a business perspective, what AI satisfied from any other perspective, that's going to go into this little cubby. And that little cubby is going to be, okay, I need my little AI model that I ask, that I engage with to solve complex problems. And I need that locally in this space somewhere in my, in my server room or in my home or whatever. That's what will happen. But mass generation AI, so Claude and Copilot and Gemini, and Google saying that Google search is completely dead and that now Google search is Google Gemini AI or whatever. Bullshit. No, I don't want that. When I ask Google to look for something, I want to know what it is. I don't need a launched into 300-word definition for what it is from something that may not even understand the question I'm asking. In the old days, that we had a thing called Google whacking. Do you know about Google? Do either of you know about Google whacking?
No.
Okay, so here you go. This will show my age. But basically what Google whacking was back in the early days of Google was a Google search that produced only 1, 2, or 3 results.
Oh shit! When was that?
There were a handful of them back in the early days of Google, because apparently Google said that, like, we index the entire internet. All right, I gotta find the thing that if I Google for it, you won't find it. And it had to be something like, not like some unique random number or whatever. Like, it had to actually be like a logical search term that you would. But Google, doing that is just it's bullshit. It's bullshit. So, yeah, I mean, the AI bubble is going to break. And when it does, it's going to hurt. And it's going to hurt a lot of people. There's people using AI to try to write ancient code sets that people aren't proficient in anymore. Remember, there's still banks and government agencies and aeronautics industries that are still running on old Fortran and COBOL code. And there are engineers that are in those spaces that are using AI to try to generate that code because nobody wants to learn those older code sets anymore. And it sucks, but the thing of it is this: when the AI bubble bursts, the skills that the AI bubble caused to become irrelevant are going to become immediately relevant. And nature abhors a vacuum. It does. So that's all I had for today. Do either of you want to close out?
Hey, I can do my normal.
No, let's go for it.
Okay, no transphobia, folks. No trash. So no transphobia, no racism, no ableism, no sexism, no homophobia, no Islamophobia, no xenophobia, land back, reparations, no borders, fuck ICE, and fuck Trump. Thank you. Bye.
Brandon?
Oh, I think I gave, I told you what I was going to be doing. So other than that, tune in to listen to me and Onyx Rose talk this afternoon, and happy Pride.
Happy Pride, Brandon. Keep being you.
I'll try.
Yes, always. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for all of the viewers. Thank you for the people watching. Keep watching. Keep coming back. That's all I'm doing. That's what all of you should do. So good night and good luck.